least bamboo's light, eh?
You're a fucking idiot. Yeah.
And so we had arrived in El Salvador, and quickly we were learning that maybe it wouldn't be home to the best dirt riding. But we were also quickly introduced to another common theme of this country, the friendliest of people. After eventually making out the jungle relatively unscathed.
So something has just bit my lip in the El Salvadorian jungle. That is not ideal.
We were invited to come camp in the garden of a local we met in town called Massimo.
So we rode over and he very proudly showed us this huge toy collection that he has on display. There was like tons of figurines and even these old games consoles. It was really cool to see. And he said we can camp in his back garden as long as we buy some food at his restaurant. So we had some delicious Italian food last night. And after a pretty bad night's sleep, thanks to a lot of wind, we're now going to make our way further up into the mountains, hopefully climbing up towards some beautiful volcanoes.
Little teddy bear.
I die today, but I die tomorrow. I lose my faith.
The climbs were relentlessly steep and rough in El Salvador, but we were constantly inspired by the humble farmers hauling heavy bags of coffee beans up and down the volcanoes. And no climb came without its rewards.
If I ever see tomorrow walk out on me, I'd be alright if I had you by my side. I think it's safe to say you got away. Oh, why'd you go away? Take me with you, I promise that I would change. Oh, why'd you go away? I told you once, told you twice that I would change.
Wow, dude. That's so good.
I felt a change in the air tonight, but I never thought you'd take the first flight.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, you're so wet. Look at you.
Or would you let me know?
Hello.
If I died today, on your face would it show? Oh, why'd you go away? Take me with you, I promise that I would change. Oh, why'd you go away? I told you once, told you twice that I would change.
What's this?
There's nothing I wouldn't do. Nothing I wouldn't do. Nothing I wouldn't do to get me back to you. There's nothing I wouldn't do. Oh, why'd you go away?
El Salvador is so beautiful.
Take me with you, I promise that I would change. Oh, why'd you go away? I told you once, told you twice that I would change.
to buy a beautiful lake. That right there is Volcan Salvador, and somewhere over here we're going to be camping in its lava fields.
Not long after leaving our camp spot, we arrived in El Salvador's capital, where I received some bad news.
So since I set off, Honduras actually changed their visa rules, so now UK citizens need a visa to get in. So I went to the Honduran embassy here in San Salvador, and they actually told me because they have no stamps from Honduras, they're not taking any visa applications until sometime next month. They didn't even know. So sadly, I'm gonna have to miss out Honduras and head straight to Nicaragua.
It was frustrating to have to skip an entire country, but I figured it would just mean I'd have an excuse to come back to this amazing part of the world. And our new route through El Salvador would mean we'd be seeing the sunset on the Pacific Ocean much sooner than expected.
Now that we're out of the city, we're going to climb to a place called Lake Ilapalgo. So we got picked up yesterday by a man named Rooster, who brought us to his town here. He gave us a place to stay at his friend's house, as well as some food and many beers. He was very kind to us, just incredible hospitality. And he was telling us that apparently all of these houses in the town are fairly new, because in 2001 there was a huge earthquake and pretty much every house in the town collapsed. It's just crazy to imagine what it would have been like living here when that happened. Would have been absolutely devastating. And from here we can just about see the coast off in the distance through the haze, and that is where we are now heading. That might be the steepest road I've ever seen. The people that build the roads here are crazy.
We soon arrived at a busy highway and decided we'd rather hitchhike. And considering how friendly El Salvadorans have been so far, it was no surprise how quickly we ended up in the back of someone's truck. And during our second hitch, Kurt had a really interesting conversation with the driver. He asked him why everyone in El Salvador was so friendly, and he said it's simply because they can be now. Until recently, as long as his parents have been alive and he's been alive, the country's been in turmoil, civil war and cartel. He wants to show people that El Salvador is a friendly and nice place and that the people are good. Anyways, we spent the night camped out the front of someone's house and set off in the morning to make our way to the coast.
There it is. The Pacific Ocean. It's been a while. So today is both Kurt's birthday and New Year's Eve. So we're going to take a nice easy ride down the coast and hopefully end up at a pretty beautiful beach for the day. It's hard to imagine this part of the El Salvadorian coastline's been traveled much at all by bike. The place we're going to today apparently used to only be able to access it by boat. The town we were in last night even had banners celebrating them getting power for the first time recently. So it's pretty cool that we're now able to travel through here. And oh my, it is so pretty around here. Hola! Some kids are in hot pursuit. That is so gross. Well, I think my last New Year's Eve was spent on a family campsite just north of San Diego, all by myself. And this year I'm with a friend. We've stayed by this beautiful beach that we have pretty much entirely to ourselves. I am much happier this year. And today I think we're just going to carry on riding along the coastline and hopefully stay with a Warm Showers host tonight. It's just absolutely fantastic out here. Bit of a contrast to the beach I was on this morning.
We soon arrived at the home of our Warm Showers host Jose, an El Salvadorian man who moved to Canada when he was 13. And 20 years ago, Jose cycled all the way from Montreal back to where he was born in El Salvador.
This is the best thing ever.
It must have been such a different experience back then to doing it now.
I don't have the phone.
It could change so
I
much.
have
Yeah.
I just.
Are you?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah. It's me. I'm very young in this time.
Did you hitchhike the whole time? Yeah, bullshit. You hitchhiked.
No way you had a white
I
t-shirt.
was-
That is way
Yeah,
too
look how
white.
clean he is.
That must have been brand new.
Did you go hotel to hotel?
No, never. I
But
never
look at this
go
white
to.
shirt, though.
Never. I never go in the hotel in my travel.
You just buy a new t-shirt every day.
Yeah, and what-
Dan, can you teach me how to put a cooler on my bike?
That's the dream. That's the dream. So Jose's been hosting on Warm Showers for 12 years, and these books are full of just hundreds of messages of all the people that have received his hospitality over the years. And right here from 2016, there is a message from Johan. Now, many of you will know that Johan's videos are what inspired me to do this trip, and I know he inspired so many other people as well. And I actually went back and watched his El Salvador video last night, and you can see Jose teaching him how to use his motorcycle, which he lent him to take up a volcano not too far from here. It was a really cool little adventure he went on. It's really amazing for the first time on this trip to stay with someone that's actually met Johan.
Staying with Jose was the perfect way to end our time in El Salvador, as the next day we'd ride to the coast where we had one last meal.
The final pupusas.
And then got on a boat to Nicaragua.